right, guys. So we got a new review tonight. Movie review. I picked it at random, and it goes along with The Last of Us starting up because it's a video game adaptation. This is called Video Games the Movie, and it's a documentary.
I didn't know he was on the back right there.
Yeah,
Zach Braff's like the producer or something.
he's in it for like 30 seconds, if that.
I think he paid for the whole thing.
Yeah, but Video Games the Movie came out in 2014. It's a documentary. What did you guys think?
Oh, I didn't enjoy it.
You did. Why didn't you enjoy it?
I just don't like watching people play video games or hearing about video games or watching people talk about the history of video games.
Mental.
I just don't really care.
You just like playing and that's it.
Exactly. It just kind of bored me.
Wow.
When they showed the clips of stuff, it's nostalgia-wise, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I just don't care about like the Godfather of NES and
The
Whoever
Godfather
created-
of gaming,
Yeah.
the Atari guy.
doesn't do it for me.
What's his name? Something Bushnell.
And I hate Chris
Yeah.
Hardwick, so every time I showed him, I was like,
Why do you hate Chris
I can't
Hardwick?
stand that
I
dude.
know he does. I remember we would talk about this when Walking Dead was on and Talking Dead. We hated it.
He thinks he's like the god of nerds and like he's like, and I just want to kill
He
him.
does exude that. Who's
Yeah.
the other guy that's on there too? Does the actor that like is like king of the nerds?
Oh, I forget his name. Is it?
He was in Stand By Me.
Forget his name. I know who you're talking about.
I like Sean Astin though. So.
Sean Astin's cool. He did the voiceover.
I thought it's fine, but like I have some issues with it.
Like what?
It tries to cover way too much in like too short of a time span.
Yeah.
Like it tries to cover literally video games from their inception until present day, like present day when it was, like in 2014. But like, and doesn't get to the point. Like there's like they take breaks. They do like the random music videos in the middle of like doing a documentary. Just there was like, oh, we're gonna do a music video right here. I was like, what are you doing? You're trying to cover 50 years of gaming, and then like just sidetrack.
Well, they did that, and then
I
they
will-
went back years to like.
You did jump
Yeah.
all
Why
over.
are we doing that?
It did jump all over, but I think that kept it fresh, though. I will say that it did skim over a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then it like delved deep into some stuff. I was like, is this what you're focusing on?
It did what it could in the. It was only
You're
what,
right.
110 minutes or 105 minutes or something. It did what it could in that time. I thought.
It
Some
felt
of the-
so much longer.
Like I felt like some of the stuff was weird. Like some of the people talking just stroked gamers' egos. Like they're like, "Oh, video game people are the smartest and most like loyal consumers there are." And I'm like, that's like an absurd statement that you cannot prove.
Yeah, a lot of the opinions were biased.
Yeah, and then like
very
there's
biased.
no counterpoint.
Yeah,
Also, they said 47% of gamers are female, which is completely false. That's no way that's true. There's no way.
No, one
that can't be a true.
What are they
stat.
basing that on?
Yeah.
one of the things they said, like when the kid was the guy was talking about like his kid being into video games now, and he's like, it teaches you failure. I was like, that is insane.
No, it does.
I feel like in no way a kid like losing in a video game does not make him more capable of dealing with like losing in a soccer game when he's a child. Like it doesn't teach you how to like take failure
No.
like I don't know what word I'm looking for, like with poise. Like it doesn't teach you to be a good loser.
If anything, yeah, anything
Like
makes you
video
a
game, like
loser.
everybody.
I get what you're saying.
Almost everybody that plays video games like has rage issues while
Yep.
they're playing the games. So if anything, it
100%.
teaches you to like rage through the failure.
Right, because you're just raging at
Which
an
I mean,
inanimate object.
I'm not saying like the games are bad, but like saying that it taught you how to like accept failure is crazy.
That's a stretch. I
Yeah.
I get the point
yeah,
he's trying
like-
to make, but that might be a stretch.
And then, but when the guy was like, one of the dudes that they talked to was like, gamers were sick of being like called losers and nerds. Yeah, no shit. Like nobody is gonna be like, you know what? I really liked when we were losers and nerds. I don't like now that we're kind of cool.
Yeah, he did say though that one of the guys was like, the world would be in trouble if it wasn't for gamers and,
Yeah,
and
like
nerds
that's
or whatever.
and then like,
Trying to like talk himself up.
but then, and then they were like, oh, in the near future, like playing a video game is just going to be like living real life. And we're 10 years after this documentary, and we're nowhere near replacing regular life with a video game.
No, it is crazy though when you watch the documentary.
Oh, yeah, how much is-
far
yeah.
it's come in 60, 65
Which I
years
do-
or whatever.
Like, not to just shit on this, but like because it is interesting to a point, and I do see that some people would find it more interesting than I do.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're entranced by like the whole
Culture?
culture and like well,
Technology.
I mean, some people are like
Yeah.
you throw on this for some people and they're like staring at it. Like I mean, you got to be the right kind of autist. I guess.
We kind of know about all this stuff already.
No,
though. So
I
like,
would. I think it's more for people that
Yes, I
aren't
do.
gamers and
That's why
don't have a vast knowledge
Right.
of gaming.
I do think it was supposed to.
It's
win
very
some
surface
people
level.
over.
It's very surface level. If you're looking for something deep on gaming, I think this isn't it, but it serves a purpose.
But
I
yeah,
think
if you
it's
want,
informational,
if you need,
and it touches on a lot of the important hardware.
it does, and it touches on a lot of like landmark things.
Yes, even though there are omissions in it that I found odd, like GTA. There was no talk of GTA.
they mention it.
What-
Did they?
They mention
They
it.
just mention it, but
Yeah,
I
they
feel
don't
like
show it,
I feel
but-
like they shied away from it because that's a bad example. Like they were only trying to show positives.
Yeah,
Right.
but they did mention it a couple times.
Nintendo was the shining star as far as I mean, rightfully so. It's like the most known gaming
Yeah,
producer or whatever. But there wasn't much there. I don't think they mentioned Pokemon. That's a big one.
no, but for like people who don't play games, if you mention Mario, everyone knows Mario.
Yeah.
So that's why they're
Literally
like, Mario
everyone,
is
yeah.
the guy.
Yeah,
He's the
Mario's-
gaming face.
He's the godfather of, like gaming characters,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I thought it told it pretty concisely, like the history, culture, and just technology of gaming.
I just feel like almost like most video game movies, like video game documentaries, also like unless you have a personal nostalgia with the specific content they use, it doesn't land. Like most video game movies are usually terrible unless
Yeah, unless
you're
you're
like,
huge,
"Oh,
a
wow,
super
I
fan.
love this."
Yeah, unless you're a super fan, right? And even then, the super fans are expecting something.
Yeah.
and then they're
like
disappointed.
the
You know what I
Tony
mean?
Hawk documentary, like about Tony Hawk the video game, is I only think it's cool because it's that game. Like the documentary's not that great, but it has all the music and it's just talking about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, which is sick.
That game was so great.
Yeah, most adaptations are trash. Last of Us is great. Silent Hill was pretty good. The movie. What else?
Sonic.
3, baby.
Sonic's fun.
Sonic. I watched Sonic recently. That was good. No.
I realized when I was watching it, I haven't watched a DVD in like it's been like 10 years. It feels like when I put it in, I was like, this is weird.
I
Well,
get
it's
a lot
not
of-
streaming anywhere.
A lot
so
of stuff I get from the library.
I
is
had to
DVD.
buy it. It
Yeah.
wasn't streaming anywhere. So,
Who signed it? What is that?
that's what I was wondering. It came. I got it off of eBay, and it came with that. There was no mention on the
Probably Chris Hardwick.
the thing. There's no mention on the listing even of some. I think like the seller signed it or something. No, but it did hit some nostalgia for me. I seen some like, it shows like hundreds of different
Yeah.
video game systems and stuff. I thought the timeline was cool, like the graphics and stuff like that.
I think us just talking about this did fuck up my algorithm because I've been seeing some weird stuff now.
Oh,
Like
really?
Some Asian dude that like has 40,000 different consoles hooked up to one TV.
Oh wow!
And it's insane. It's like a whole room of just stuff everywhere, and he just has a bunch of switches so that like they all
can just
plug
switch
into
them.
it, and if all
That's
plugs into
excessive.
yeah, dude, it's crazy.
I gotta.
I don't know how he doesn't melt down the whole city.
What do you guys? You guys didn't enjoy it as much as I did. What do you guys think they could have done differently, or how could it have been told differently? I mean, what would have made it better for
it's
you
not
guys?
my thing, I guess. I love
you
playing
love
video
video
games.
games.
I do playing them, but people love watching people play video games. And I can't stand that.
Well, this isn't necessarily.
I know, but I'm saying that's something about video games that I don't like. I don't like hearing about like technology and the stuff that they started with and systems, and
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
just doesn't do anything.
I thought
for
it was
me.
interesting to see where
just-
like it originated in that like MIT like lab they created like on
Yeah.
like some sort of actual like tech like piece of technology like where they created what was it like some sort of version of like asteroid or some bullcrap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I just feel like sometimes documentaries are too broad. Like I need a more specific like scope.
I get that.
Yeah, that would have helped.
Like
get
like true crime stuff is usually interesting because it's literally one case
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
No, I get that.
one video game that they focus on.
Here's the thing. Do you think you would have enjoyed it more if you weren't like a gamer or have so much knowledge of gaming?
Probably a little bit like if I didn't know about some of the stuff or even almost even everybody it showed almost like we know and of who they are in some capacity.
Right. That's true. But was there anything that you were hoping that it would talk about or covered that it didn't, like a specific game or console or something moment in gaming?
I don't really, because I feel like anything we add would just add to my issue with it, that it was like too broad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could have left out chunks and it would have still have been as interesting, or like focused more on certain things instead of trying to
Cover the whole
cover
thing.
the whole.
I feel like pretty much everything that we've wanted to play video game wise, we've played or seen or own the system, or so like all the stuff they were showing we didn't miss out on. We're like, okay, well, yeah, I played it, it's fine.
That's also
We did that,
I
yeah.
do think
We
younger kids would get more out of this because like people like, oh, like you'd never experienced Nintendo, and they're like, yeah, well that's gay, and then they watch this like stuff like this and see how cool it was,
How big
even though
it was.
even though it doesn't look cool to them now.
I
You know
don't
what I
think
mean?
younger kids would give an F. They're all
No, I mean, well, like they have to be a younger nerd.
yeah,
someone who appreciates
a
that.
very niche.
Yeah,
Someone who appreciates that, not
Yes.
like the spoiled, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like not your typical Fortnite player or what have you.
Right.
But yeah, most kids these days they've only known like PS4,
yeah,
PS5.
dude, it would be crazy to only know how good games are now. I mean, I had an NES when they first came out, and it fucking rocked, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Games were hard as hell. I do like the stuff when they showed about ET, the game, because I remember that
That was-
being like
Yeah, flop.
just punishing, like so terrible.
Yeah, they thought they could just sneak that out because it had ET on it and just release some trash and people would eat it up. And
And they threw it in like a landfill and buried it.
Yeah.
Like a real thing that
that's
happened.
hilarious. But what was your guys' first console ever?
Probably NES.
Yeah, the OG Nintendo, I think.
And
I don't think I ever had like Atari or
no, I'm saying like Shaw, that was your console, right?
yes,
But that was probably Russ's NES. Like, what was your first, Joe? Like, did
I had Sega Saturn.
that was your first console ever?
I think it was.
Yes.
And PlayStation 2 was like similar time, I think, but
Yeah, I think it was right after. But yeah,
that was like one of the only ones that Russ didn't buy. So then I was like, I'll just get Sega Saturn. I was like, this
do
is
you
the best system ever.
Do you remember when Sega did like the 32X thing where you could buy the thing to like put on top of?
Oh, yeah.
That thing was so sick.
Yeah.
Sega, dude, I love Sega.
I love
Sega
Sega,
was great.
still. Sega did what Nintendo don't. You know, that
Yeah.
was the slogan or whatever.
Dude, Sega CD underappreciated.
Yeah.
it was sick.
And Sega Saturn.
Yep.
Both. And the Genesis. All underappreciated. Oh, Genesis is pretty appreciated. But what game did you guys play more than any game ever?
GoldenEye or Perfect Dark, I think.
Probably Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
I played that a lot too.
What about SOCOM 2?
I played that embarrassing amount of time, yeah.
Insane? It might have been SOCOM. I would say SOCOM 2.
Yeah, probably.
And last question here. What do you guys have one memory? Like, I know you have a lot of gaming memories, but one memory that stands out above all.
Of gaming?
About a game or
Yeah.
while playing a game?
About about a game.
One of the coolest things I can remember when I was little is I threw my Nintendo controller and it perfectly hit the power button. And that's not what I meant to do, but I thought I was such a badass. Like I just was mad and went, ah, and it like bounced and hit the power button and just turned the game off. I
You
was like,
looked
that
at
was
your
so
hand.
sick.
You're like, "What am I?"
That was around the same time also though when I put a page from a coloring book in a space heater and caught my carpet on fire. So
Oh wow! How old was this? About 21?
no, this was
playing with you.
single digits.
Yeah, I'm playing with you. I
My
know.
parents let me have a bedroom upstairs by myself, which was a poor choice.
Dang.
Like the whole like attic was my bedroom, and I was a little kid. It was a poor choice.
Wow. What about you, Joe? Do you have a memory?
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Russ wanting to fight me after Madden.
That's a great one.
Me dropping the line and then I feeling like a badass and walking
tell
away
that
up the
story
stairs.
from the beginning and give some context.
Well, we would always play Madden, obviously, and that was one of the most infuriating competitive games there was.
For sure.
If you love football, even if you don't really love football, but if you love sports and you think you're sweet, and I was beating him and beat him, and he was calling me many names that I can't repeat, but I just had enough, and I ended up winning, and then I was like, maybe if you watch more football, you'd be good. And then I started... I slowly got up and walked up the stairs.
And Russ prides himself on
Being like the sports
knowing a
guy,
lot about
Oh
sports.
yeah. And then I got up all the way up to my room, and then I heard the footsteps on the stairs. He was cussing me out in the hallway. My mom was sitting in the chair. She didn't know what happened. She was like, "What is going on?"
Me and my dad did used to play Jeopardy on the NES a lot.
Yeah.
And my dad did call a female character a cunt when we played that, and I lost my mind because I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, I've never heard that in my life.
That's great. Madden had some weird effect where it brought out the worst
Oh,
in the
it still
sore
does.
loser. You know what I'm saying?
It still does.
I'm
Back then,
ashamed.
I feel like it was the biggest sports game, though. Like now,
Yeah.
other
competitive
games,
wise.
Yeah.
other games are.
And in person, because most people would get together
Oh,
and
yeah.
they'd play Madden. I mean, there was an online community too, and there was that whole Madden challenge bullcrap, which was cool. But like in person, I'm ashamed to admit this. I played our buddy Phil in it, and I threatened to stab him when I lost. He did not forget that for a while. I did threaten to stab him.
That's insane.
I mean, even
I did.
online, you would get just infuriated.
dude,
like
online.
FIFA and stuff and Madden, they're just like, you think the person's cheating because you're like, you just find the trick plays you.
I mean,
fruitcake.
sometimes they are.
I remember
Yeah.
playing NHL and like I'd beat someone, and then like you'd immediately get a message, and you're like, I know what this
Of
is.
course, yeah.
Oh, dude, I had it because if you're like like typing messages in the PlayStation, it like will auto say so like when you hit the letter, it'll just be the next word.
Yeah.
So you can just keep hitting like R1 or whatever to autofill. So I just would have it down. I would only have to hit one letter, and then I could just send the same message over and over.
What was it?
And for FIFA, it always used to be like, how does it feel to have EA suck your dick? I'd send that so much. I got in trouble, and then had to change it up.
That's not even that bad. Like, is there one that you've sent that like you're like that was real bad? Like,
No, probably it was. Well, there was that forever. But then, I mean, I only would get really bad if somebody was like bad to me. So like they can't report me because they started it.
Yeah.
Which somebody did try to report me before, and I was like, bro, you like were messaging me. Like you can't try to report me for saying shut up.
yeah, to
Like,
for retorting.
yeah, it was crazy.
I also threw an NBA game off the balcony of a Florida.
That's what I was going to ask about. I thought that was you.
That one's great. Yeah, we were in Florida, and we
That's because you were fast breaking with Shaquille O'Neal. And shooting threes with Shaquille O'Neal.
I was draining threes with like
See, this
Ben
is what
Wallace
the
and
documentary
Shaq.
should be. Just stories of like
Yeah,
video game stories from people.
That's a good idea because there's so many fond memories. We were in Florida on vacation and I was probably like 11, and Joe was probably like 15 or 12 or whatever, and Joe, like I was draining threes with like Ben Wallace and Shaquille O'Neal, which is so unrealistic. NBA 2K3, I believe it was, the one with Ben Wallace on the front.
That's
And
crazy.
we were on like the 15th floor. Joe popped open the disc tray, he took out the disc, and he goes right off the balcony.
No, you were straight. Fast breaking all the way down the court with Shaq.
That's great. No, but I will tell you this memory though. This one sticks out because our Uncle Kev, he brought over GTA 3 when it first came out, and I swear to God, we were in the basement playing, and he took it away, and he went home, and I was like devastated. I'm like, I need to play now. it was just a nail in my brain. I'm like, you can do anything you want. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it was so new.
But yeah, that would be a sick documentary. I'd just get people to tell stories like this.
Rage quits.
Yeah, rage quits and.
Losing friends over video games.
It happens.
But video games, the
And then
movie.
they could also include in that the people that like met up with people and freaked off because they met in a video game or they got married.
They actually
doing
did
that,
have, which is like,
That's what I was going to bring up. I just watched that Ebeline documentary.
yeah.
Which I mean, it's bizarre, but it's just focused on like one case.
Case of what?
Do you know? Oh, you don't know what that documentary is?
Oh, what gamers meeting in person and
No, it's the something life of Ebeline. It was like a kid in Norway or Sweden who was disabled and played World of Warcraft. And then when he died, all the people from like World of Warcraft reached out to his family, and they like found out he had all these friends from World of Warcraft, and like they came to the funeral.
Oh, that
and
is
they
touching.
all sent like letters to his parents. It was
I'm gonna be quiet on this
no,
one.
that is touching.
what's up?
Not gonna comment. 'Cause it'll be mean.
That's okay.
I don't want.
You can be mean.
No, it's okay.
We want to hear it.
No, it is touching though.
But
It's
yeah,
touching, yeah.
it was. But yeah, it was. It's like bizarre. But yeah, there were a girl on that who like wanted to meet up with him, and he didn't tell any of them like he was sick. And he's like, nah, and he like would blow them off. And they're like, damn, I thought we were friends. And it's because he was like in a wheelchair.
He's a
Oh, that's terrible. All right, let's get to ratings. All right, what did you guys give Video Games the movie?
5.
Yeah, 5.
5. I gave it a 7. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Would you guys say watch this ASAP, watch it whenever, or skip it?
It's either whenever or skip it. It's a pretty.
I'd say
niche
if
thing.
you were interested in anything we said about it, whenever.
Yeah, if you like,
If you can track it down.
I would say most of our viewers are,
Yeah.
are gamers,
That
you know.
makes sense.
So I mean, I would say watch it whenever. Let's say watch it whenever.
You
But-
could get it from your local library.
There you go. Yeah, or you can buy it on eBay and get a signed copy.
We don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell it is. You know,
It could be valuable.
That could
We
be
don't know.
Mario.
This could be worth millions.
Mario signature or Pac-Man. No. All right, guys, that's our review for Video Games the movie. Later.